your health. How is important is it to be healthy? I'm not just talking about your spiritual journey. I'm talking about your physical health, your physical vehicle which you occupy. Today I'm going to talk about the importance of how it is to be healthy during this time. Those that are here to serve humanity. I spoke yesterday about living from the heart, serving humanity. If we are occupying a vehicle that hasn't been repaired, what happens when you drive the car and it hasn't been serviced? What happens if you don't look after and maintain your vehicle? This is how important this message is. But before I get into it, I'm going to welcome some of you. Amanda and Soren have joined the live stream. Welcome to you. I'm talking about health today. Your health. It all starts with the thinking, doesn't it? If we think that we don't deserve, if we don't believe that we are valuable, if we have a vehicle that we don't think is worth anything or valuable, we don't tend to look after it, we don't clean it. Hello, Stacey, welcome. And so this is why it's so important that first and foremost, when it comes to energy, our thinking is so important that we get clear, that we maintain a positive mindset. See, when you know your worth, it doesn't really matter what people think. They're going to either like you or hate you. I spoke about that yesterday. Welcome, Joy. Great to see you joining. Joy Johnson. Great name, Joy. When we have stinking thinking, well, guess what happens? Those thoughts go out and they return back to us as our life experience. But when you have positive thinking, when you know your worth, when you know your value, you think positively, then life will mirror back to you your energetic vibration of positivity. Which brings us back to the physical vehicle in which we are occupying. Say this after me: I am not my body. I am the awareness that animates it. When we cease to identify with the physical body as who we really are, and we understand that it's just a vehicle that's having this human experience, then we can start to see it for what it is. We are less susceptible to the criticism and judgment, not only of other people, but also of ourselves. Because aren't we our own worst judges? We criticize, we berate our 20-year-old bodies. I did that even when I was young and vibrant. I found fault with the physical, didn't think it was good enough, didn't like my teeth, didn't like my hair, I felt I was too skinny. And then I went through a period where I put on a whole lot of weight, and then I felt I was too fat. I didn't like that either. If you're not willing to love yourself today in this moment, you're not going to love yourself tomorrow. It takes a mindset. It takes a correction of the thinking to make a decision that you're going to love yourself. When you love yourself, guess what vibration comes back to you? If you hate yourself and you're projecting a consciousness of inadequacy, of hatred, of judgment, life will mirror back to you people, circumstances, and situations that mirror that consciousness. So first and foremost, our thinking, we got to get right. And you just can't know this intellectually or listen to this YouTube video or watch this YouTube video and get it at an intellectual level. You have to know it. You have to believe it. Because if you don't believe it, you won't project it. What you believe becomes true for you. It's not the words that another tells you. It's your belief that is creating your reality, because you create your reality. And likewise, I create mine. And we can benefit from videos like this. We can benefit from reading wonderful books on the subject. But until you believe it, you aren't going to see it in your reality, because your reality is simply a mirror or a reflection of your state of consciousness. That is how this whole reality works. That is the great secret of this reality. Things don't happen to you. Things respond to you. Life responds to you, because you are the writer, the creator, the director of your own life. No one has that power over you. The only time someone has that power over you is when you give it away. When you believe they've got power over you. When you take on the opinions and beliefs of others, then you manifest that in your reality. And that is why the true health journey is a holistic one. Because it's about the mind, it's about the soul, and it's about the body working in conjunction to create your reality. There is no good being spiritually healthy and physically unhealthy, because you're out of balance. Many people in spiritual work neglect their own vessels, their own vehicles. They're so busy helping, healing others. And they might find themselves in an unhealthy body, an overweight body, a body that hasn't been attended to. And eventually they will succumb to illness or disease because they have neglected themselves. I don't say that to be judgmental towards others. I say that to be helpful towards others. And I speak from experience, because let me share this story with you. Like many of you, during the pandemic, through being depressed, locked down, I happened to live in Australia, in Melbourne, where it was the most locked down city in the world. We had 2 years of in and out of lockdown. I was very fit and able before. I used to go to the gym 5 days a week. I would do cardiovascular exercise. I would do resistance training. I would eat a healthy, holistic diet. And when I was told I couldn't go to the gym, my diet changed, because I didn't need that fuel anymore. I didn't need all the protein supplementation and all of the healthy eating that went with that. So I reverted back to an old form of consciousness, which was junk food, unhealthy food, lack of supplementation and vitamins, because I thought, what's the point, right? Big lesson for me. Eventually, when the lockdown ended, I got back on the journey, but I had a lot of excess weight to lose. So I was really overweight. So I had to work really hard to implement back into my routine all of the healthy attributes. Of course, when I was going through the lockdown experience, I found really my soul's purpose, and that is the work that I'm doing now, communicating with you, sharing with you, doing group work, retreat work, regression work. That's when it started for me. But I had to get back to a place of really tying all of the spirit, soul, body, mind together again. Over the last, many of you might have noticed this. If you look at videos from about a year ago, you'll have noticed that I look very different. Who noticed that? Maybe some of you that have followed me for a while will see my own health journey very obviously through just the way I look. I was very inflamed in my face. I was inflamed throughout my whole body because of the toxins that I was ingesting and the lack of exercise and nutrition that I was getting. You look amazing. Thank you, Stacey. Joy said she noticed. Yeah, I was really inflamed. So I knew I had to get healthy. I knew I had to get exercising again. Because everything is energy. And if you don't look after your physical being, your vehicle, as I like to refer it to, you will not be able to fulfill your real soul's purpose. You need to have vitality, you need to have energy, you need to be passionate, and to have all of those things, you need energy. To have energy, you need to fuel the body. Yes, you need to feed the mind. Yes, you need to feed the soul, but you also need to feed the physical. And this is why the holistic journey is so paramount. I see so many people. I won't call out any names, but this isn't for judgment. This is just to observe and see how we can be better versions of ourselves. This is helpful information. Those that aren't looking after their physical body will, through mere laws, succumb to illnesses that often happen from inflammation of the body. When you are inflamed, your body is in a survival mode. You're not acting optimal and existing optimally within your energy, because everything is energy. It comes down from the ethers, it comes down through to our physical body. One of the things that I do every day, and I'm going to take a sip now, is I do protein supplementation. Protein is so important. We don't get enough protein in our standard diets. So one thing that I do is I supplement protein so that I have optimal protein for my body to exist in a healthy state. Who's supplementing protein? Who's getting enough protein? One of the huge benefits from supplementation is we find it very difficult to get enough in our diets. I'm reading some of the comments just as I'm communicating here. Joy has said, I battled a lot because I didn't want to be in my body. I didn't want to be here on the earth. I know I'm here for a reason. This is great, Joy, that you brought this up. We're here for a reason. None of us are incarnated during this great time in human evolution by accident. And more important than ever, to do the work, you have to be healthy. Like the analogy I used at the beginning of this live is, if you do not have a vehicle that is serviced and maintained and cared for, that vehicle, if that was your motor vehicle, would succumb to break down. Of course, this is very obvious for those of us that have vehicles, and yet we neglect our own vehicle. For some of us, we feel unworthy. For some of us, it's a traumatic response. What I've come to learn through the many regression sessions that I've done, often people will put on weight. They'll put on the extra kilos. They'll eat extra calories to pad their body, being very literal of protecting oneself against trauma or against energy. And yet we only suffer and do it to ourselves. When I was eating unhealthily, I was inflamed, I was overweight, I energetically did not have the energy to do the work that I'm here to do. Just after I record this live, guess where I'm going? Straight to the gym, which is 5 minutes walk down the road from where I live. I'll be there for about an hour and a half. I'll work on my core strength. Today is my shoulder day. I'll work on my shoulders through resistance training. I'll do some cardiovascular exercise. I'll listen to some inspiring music while I do it, because that will also elevate my vibration, make me feel good. I'll release endorphins into my brain. And all of this helps me to do the work that I do. It's so important. So important. It's great for the skin. It's great for your muscles that give you strength, that gives your bones strength. I could go on and on about the benefits, but let's focus on energy, because the essence and core of my work is everything is energy. Dolores Cannon taught us this. Everything is energy, including you. And for you to be at your optimal energy, you have to holistically look after your body, feed your body the right nutrients, the right supplements, feed your mind. What are you focusing on? What are you listening to? Are you meditating? Are you stretching? And of course, spiritually, the work. What are we meant to do? What is our soul's purpose? What is our specific contribution? This is an important message. Another thing that I've been guided to do is offer to you, my followers, is a free hour workshop in the next couple of weeks, where I'm going to be going into all of the specifics and talking about what I use, what products, what supplementation, what exercise regime, so that you can learn some of this information as well. And then you can begin to incorporate it and begin to live a healthier life. Let's not be dependent upon medications. Let's not be dependent upon pharmaceuticals and all of these things that we tend to have to go on because of this inflammatory response that the body is going through. And of course, once you subscribe to one medication, you need another one, because you get the side effects that often come with being on medication itself. Great to see Amanda and Joy there communicating in the chat. Give me a thumbs up if this is resonating with you. Give me a thumbs up or a comment if you're interested in this free workshop. And those that follow me on Instagram and here on YouTube, you'll get notified through the community section here on YouTube. On Instagram, I'll do stories and I'll do some posts that will let you know the Zoom links and the information so that you can be there for that. It's going to be important for all of us. It doesn't matter what part of your health journey you're in. I learn every day from those that I'm surrounded by that teach me the next step. How can I get healthier? How can I create more energy in my body? What supplementation do I need to be on? How can I have a healthier mind? Another thing that I used to suffer with was anxiety and depression, and perhaps some of you have as well. One of the effects of being different, which many of us are because we are here to volunteer to serve humanity, is that we don't come from here, so we feel very different. We don't fit in with societal norms. We don't fit into mainstream groups and organizations. So often a symptom of not fitting in is anxiety or depression. Dolores Cannon spoke a lot about the waves of volunteers and how this was an area that often they reported. You can do wonders for your mind by exercising. You can do wonders for your anxiety levels by getting the right supplementation, for using the right essential oils, as I've got some essential oils here, which I want to tell you about in this live free workshop that I'm going to do, because nature has gifted us with everything that we need to stay vibrant and healthy. Why? Because everything is interconnected. Everything is energy. Nature is there to support you. Nature has provided everything within it to make you optimally healthy in the physical. And of course, knowledge is of no use to us unless applied. You have to apply the knowledge. Most people will gain the knowledge by watching a YouTube video or reading a book or listening to a podcast, and they won't apply the knowledge. And therefore, it's great when they hear it, they get excited by it, they enjoy the podcast or broadcast, and then there is no change done because they move on to the next thing. We live in a very busy world of information. I like sowing seeds more into YouTube more than probably any other social media platform, because it gives me the opportunity to do long form content. When we're on things like YouTube, when we're on things like Instagram and TikTok and Reels, we're scrolling really quickly. We're not absorbing. We're not really focused. So we begin to wire our brain to not focus. And some of our younger youth and kids have issues with concentration now more than previous generations, because the way their brain is being wired is for instantaneous gratification. And they can't focus on anything because they're flicking and scrolling all the time. That's why I do these lives, so that we have time to absorb the information. Hopefully some of you will go back and listen to this and be reminded of how important this is. Your health, this vehicle you occupy right now, is the most important possession, the most important responsibility that you have. I've known many great spiritual masters that have taught me that didn't look after their spiritual bodies, their physical bodies rather, and they left maybe before their time, of an illness, of a heart attack, of something that we know is preventable. How sad is that? I know that we always live when we're meant to, but I believe in longevity. In fact, I'm affirming for myself, I'm going to live way past 100, because I'm going to look after this body. I got a lot of work to do, and I need the time to do it. And so I need a healthy body. I need a strong body. I need to keep exercising and working out and eating healthy well into my 90s. I want to be well and able and mentally fit and physically fit well into my later years. And the wonderful thing about it is people are living longer now when they're not toxic. Now, I won't get into the intentions and all of that. That's for other people to share, of why we live in such a toxic environment. But you create your reality, and you choose what you put in your mouth, and you choose how you use this physical body. So my intention, my heart for you is to get you healthy again, to get you mentally healthy, to get you physically healthy, to get you spiritually healthy. And when you're holistically whole, you'll fulfill your soul's purpose, your soul's calling, because there won't be anything stopping you. Some people are financially not healthy at the moment. One of the worst affirmations you can use is, I can't afford it. I used to be guilty of that affirmation. Whenever I saw something that I thought would be beneficial or wanted to, my first thing was, I can't afford that. I want you to, if you've used that affirmation for yourself, I want you to stop doing that from today. Every word, every belief you send out and comes back to you as your life experience. Who knows that to be true? You create your reality, not a government or an organization or a partner or anybody else. It is you that is creating your reality, and you are responsible for your reality, no one else. Your words, the words that come out of your mouth and what goes into your mouth are so important because they will shape your reality. Isn't that interesting? Everything that goes in and everything that comes out. Our breath keeps us alive, goes out of our mouth and nose. And then we breathe back in through our mouth and nose, and it gives us oxygen and life force to survive. And then, how powerful is this, that every word that goes out of our mouth creates the reality in which we live, manifests, becomes our reality. And then everything that you put into your mouth and you ingest into your physical being becomes your reality as well. See how this works? I'm going to be talking a lot more about this in this free workshop that I do. Anyone that is interested in that, please be there. Be a part of this. It's free. I'm not going to charge anything for this. I'm going to have it. I'm going to partner with some other people that I know experts in this field. One woman in particular, she has been doing this for 20 plus years, and she knows everything scientifically about all of the essential oils, the supplementation that is going to support you. Another thing I'll say is, let's support companies that are ethical as well. Let's not support companies financially that are doing harm to people. Let's put our money and our energy into people that have integrity, have honesty. This goes with the influencers that you follow. This goes with the spiritual leaders that you follow, the businesses that you support. Are you supporting local businesses? Are you supporting local farmers that are putting love into their product, that are putting love into their ingredients? Or are we just supporting big companies that are profiting and using the money not for the benefit and upliftment of humanity? This is the time that we really get really serious. Because yes, you may be one, but if we all do our part, it makes a huge difference. Sure, I'm not reaching everybody. 11 people are watching right now. I'm not reaching everybody with this message, but I might get 100 views on this video. And hopefully that out of that 100, maybe half of them might listen to most of this message. Or even if it was a quarter of that, well, 20 people, say, heard this today, and they implement this. They come to the workshop. They make a change. 20 people's a lot that are going to implement and make changes and do it. And of course, everyone we affect will affect another. And that's how you change the world. You don't necessarily do it by writing a letter to your senator. Often they don't even read it anyway. I've tried that before. Or getting loud on social media with spreading information. Sometimes it can be helpful, sometimes not. But really doing the work, being a living testimony. See, here's the thing with my physical body now. It's not about the way I look or if I'm carrying it straight or not for egoic reasons. It's more to show that I'm healthy, so that when people look to me, either in the street or at the gym or in a video like this, they can see that I'm living this message. I'm not just talking about it and doing another thing in my personal life. No, I'm living this. I'm implementing this. And then you become a powerful testimony. You become a living message that others are drawn to. What are you doing, Paul? What are you doing for your health? What are you taking as supplementation? How do I lose this weight? How do I think better thoughts? What books should I read? What videos should I watch? It's one person at a time. For me, it's one video at a time. And then the message gets out, and then as a team, because it's all about collaboration, we change the world. I love you all. I'll be communicating again tomorrow around the same time as this. Please like and share this video if it resonates, or you know someone that this will help. Or recommend this free workshop, which will be coming up in a few weeks, and I'll be making announcements around that. Let others know that maybe need to hear this information. It won't cost them anything. They're going to get free information. Maybe they need to lose weight. Maybe they need to heal from a dis-ease in their body. You're going to have some powerful information. I'll see you next video. Love you all.